think we're live there now. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to give the upload just another second. Yeah, there we go. Good evening, everyone. And once again, thank you so much for joining us as we continue our Justice for Our campaign. As you probably know, these live videos are created specifically to give you, the public, a library and a catalogue to follow the different aspects of Aaron's case. We have covered a number of the different points. Obviously, we go back over to the theft of the car, Clower Head, which was allegedly used in the Mother robbery, but we obviously hotly dispute, onto the Mother scene burn site, and then we're moving through the other aspects of the case. Now, we have covered some of the behaviour of Garda Síochána and some of the criminals they were dealing with in New York, people who give false statements against Aaron. And obviously, those of you who have been following the campaign are more than aware, I would suspect, of Mr. Daniel Cahill, who is described as the star witness, the key witness in Aaron's case. And we have shown, I think, quite categorically that nothing could be further from the truth than Daniel Cahill being a key or a star witness in any case that had only capital murder. And we've highlighted Christopher the Layer, his first cousin, who also told lies, a criminal wanted here in Northern Ireland for very, very serious drugs charges, ammunition, and a large sum of cash. And these incidents are not isolated. And I think that's very, very important to get across. And we have below and underneath this video a number of other videos we have created in respect of other people who were approached by Garda Síochána in conjunction with members of Homeland Security, predominantly Homeland Security agent Mr. Matt Katsky, who you see in the thumbnail of this video here, once again with Senior Investigating Officer Mr. Pat Murray. And the behaviour of these people in New York is reprehensible, it's disgusting, it's illegal, it's collusion, it's corruption, it's all of those things. And they have led to a false conviction, because obviously, and it has been highlighted on numerous occasions, that the actual evidence here in Ireland is circumstantial. It's for inference to be drawn from that circumstantial evidence. And I think we have shown very, very clearly that the circumstantial evidence is flawed and indeed tampered with. So in the videos below, we're actually going to look at just a couple of people, and I'll just mention some of what we call the carry-on that went on in New York. And I'll bring your attention to another drug dealer, a drug addict in Boston. And we have actually a video clip of this man telling us that he was put under severe duress by Garda Síochána, Homeland Security, and the police force in Boston. And, excuse me, let me sneeze. Yeah, he was put under duress by the authorities in Boston. He was shown newspapers with Aaron's picture on it, albeit pixelated, but we can see very clearly it's Aaron Brady. That's all in the video. And he was told that Aaron Brady was a member of the IRA, and this man was threatened with 25 years in jail if he didn't tell the story that was written out from. And it is a clear indication of the type of behaviour that was undertaken by senior members of Garda Síochána while they were in America and in Boston. Then in Boston also, with another young man who had, he was an illegal immigrant in Boston. He had set up his own business, he had his life, he was very much involved with the GA scene in Boston. He was arrested and he was given an opportunity to stay in Boston if he told. There was one senior investigating officer sat with him in a room in a police station in Boston. And his own description to us of that day is something like this, that the senior investigating officer was along with another senior detective and the Homeland Security agent. Homeland Security agent left the room, and the discussion began about this young man who was arrested telling stories about brothers in Boston. And he said it got very uncomfortable in the room, and the tall grey-haired detective got up and left. And that left one senior investigating officer in the room with him. And he was told that his life in Boston would be spared. He would not be deported if he was willing to say that he had overheard these young men saying something about the murder at Lordship Credit Union. And indeed, he told me quite freely himself that he did consider doing it. For a moment, the opportunity was there, and he did know the two young men that the detective was speaking about. And because of actually what he had seen in the newspapers, he hadn't much respect for the young men. He didn't know the whole story. He didn't know the work that the mainstream media, the job they had done on creating a false narrative for the Garda to build a case in America. And he decided, no, that was the wrong thing to do. And he would not tell lies against these young men, and he was deported back to Ireland. And indeed, on his journey back to from the holding area to the airport, his chat with the officers who were transporting him that day actually told him they'd never seen anything like this before. So that's from this young man himself. So this is the depth of depravity senior investigating officers in the murder of Adrian Donoghue went to try and redress the absolute mess they made of the investigation in 2013 into 2014. And there was a decision made to get any sort of a conviction whatsoever. And then we had the situation again in Boston. Another young girl who was associated with one of the brothers again. She was arrested. She was taken to, again, a cell in a Boston police station. And again, the depravity of these people and the disregard for any sort of, well, moral compass, let alone legal compass. That young lady had to sit and endure over an hour in a cell with, I have described this gentleman before as an obese, red-faced detective who was allowed on his own, unsupervised, unrecorded, with that young girl in a cell in Boston. She too refused to tell lies, and she too was deported. And again, the depth of the depravity of these people, it knows no bounds. And they would have went and will go to any lengths, and it possibly their attempts to create evidence and fabricate evidence may very well still be part of their modus operandi. But hopefully we'll be able to highlight that as it happens now, rather than looking back in hindsight and trying to redress what they have done. And then we have a case of a young man from New York, a young Irishman who was just over in America for the summer. He knew Aaron, a young professional, and he gave a statement to Garda Síochána because he had interactions with Aaron. And on his arrival back to Ireland, and he was once again presented with the statement he had given in New York. And lo and behold, that young man had to go to his own solicitor here in Ireland and get his solicitor to highlight that his statement had been altered. And it beggars belief again that these people would go to these lengths of illegal and utterly despicable behaviour to try and fabricate some sort of evidence against their son, because they had gone down a rabbit hole in 2013, 2014, and they were left with no option. that had tragically lost a colleague in the line of duty. And this is what these people have resorted to. So the videos below, I'll just put a list of videos below this video, and it will look at some other aspects of the behaviour of these members of the Garda Síochána while they were in America, in association with a number of Homeland Security officers, Homeland Security agents, and we specifically mention here Homeland Security agent Mr. Matt Catsky. And I do believe we have that video as well. I may just pop that video up again in relation to, because it was reported by a senior crime correspondent, Mr. Owen Reynolds. He reported from the court that Matt Catsky actually approached one of the suspects in Belfast Airport and offered inducements and freed them from any other interactions with the authorities if he give us Brady. So we had a Homeland Security agent who was an attaché in the London embassy, was approaching a young man in Northern Ireland in respect of a murder in the Republic of Ireland. And I think I can say, and it is my opinion, we are told a tissue of lies about that agent's interaction with Senior Investigating Officer Mr. Pat Marry. That's the opinion I have. I believe Pat Marry told lies and purged himself about the interactions he had with Homeland Security agent Mr. Matt Catsky. So hopefully that gives you that an idea that this behaviour is not isolated to these other criminals, that small group of criminals, Cahill, Christopher the Layer, and his first cousin Anthony. It was much more widespread, and we do have other people who has told us about interactions with Garda Síochána. Another young man quite close to us here, he too was deported because he wouldn't tell lies against Aaron. And in due course, all that we'll be able to lay that bare as and when the time is right, and we have all the details as much as we can garner to give it to you, the public. So I hope that gives you the public more perspective on the behaviour of these people as they attempted to do. I don't think we cannot call it police work. I'd say again, it was corruption, it was collusion, it was despicable. And as we say here in the headline of this video, these people created a cesspit of investigation in New York. And obviously Daniel Cahill and those around him were at the centre of that. And also, you, the public, are very, very much aware that a young girl, Molly Stone, had given evidence from her kitchen in New York to a court here, the CCJ here in Dublin. She was assaulted. And Garda Síochána and DPP and Senior Prosecution Counsel, Mr. Brendan Graham, decided that no investigation should take place. It beggars belief that this happened in the Irish judicial system, but it is there to be seen. It is recorded. The details of it are in the public domain. So it's not something that we're making up. This happened in an Irish courtroom. And when we put that all together with the manipulated circumstantial evidence, it shows clearly that this conviction of our son is completely unsafe. And I will say once again, the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue is still at large. And there is no doubt about that. I will repeat again, the man who shot Detective Garda Donoghue was over 6 foot. Aaron Brady is 5'7". And we've shown it on numerous occasions, but we try to put it all together to constantly give perspective of how rotten this investigation is, and how, I don't really want to swear, but and Garda Síochána, and obviously members of the DPP and the prosecution team, who must certainly know that the man who shot and murdered Detective Garda Donoghue is not incarcerated. And we do need your help to help us address that. So please continue to like, comment and share. Big thank you to all those who continue to subscribe. Our sites are being very suppressed once again. Please, please, please continue, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. We do need it for the algorithms, and we will get stronger. And we will continue to get our story out to you, the public. So thank you for all those who have subscribed recently. And we'll have to check it out, and I'll put up another target, and we'll head for that 400 or 500. We really need to get those subscriptions up. And again, I will ask, if you feel that you can, please, the representative, know that you're unhappy, that there may be something unnerving about the conviction of Aaron Brady. So once again, to everyone, thank you for joining in this evening, and for those who will watch this video later on, thank you once again, and we will continue. We're going to look, I think, in our next live, and we'll give you a library of videos in relation to the false accusations of intimidation against us, the Brady family, and indeed Aaron. And as a point of information, during the week, Aaron's case of intimidation has been pushed back, I think, until the middle of 2024. So obviously, on Garda Síochána, Brendan Graham and others are not that particularly concerned about the safety of their witnesses. If there was any genuine concern that anyone had actually tried to intimidate or threaten witnesses in any way, it never happened. The Bradys never threatened. The Bradys never tried to coerce anyone in relation to Aaron's trial. And that will stand the test of time too. And we will prove that beyond any reasonable doubt, because it is a fact. We had nothing to do with any inappropriate contact with any witness in Aaron's case or trial. So once again, thank you for that. We'll be back with that live video in relation to the intimidation, and we'll have a library then of those videos. Once again, looking at the other aspects and some of the carry on with all in the USA are in the videos linked below. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you again soon, and thank you for watching.